What's going on, guys? So today I have a fun story to tell and possibly some cool coins to look at. Today I went bank hopping. It is a crappy day out. It's rainy and dreary and just kind of dark. Had a little bit of time. I had to go to the bank originally. Where I live out, in the woods, nothing's close. So I make my trips count, especially since gas around here just surpassed $5 a gallon for 87, which is crazy, but I don't have to tell you that. Everyone knows the gas situation. So, I make my trips count, and I try to multitask when I'm out. So, having to go to the bank already, I decided to do some bank hopping. I went to 4 different banks, 4 completely different companies, not just like 4 different branches, 4 completely different banks. And there's a 5th one that's somewhat in the area there that I don't have an account, which I might get an account in the future. Generally speaking, when you're looking for, you're coin hunting and asking for lots of change, lots of rolls of change and stuff, most times banks will ask if you're a customer. Now, technically, you don't have to be a customer to go get some change from the bank. If you walked in with $1, I'm sure they give you 4 quarters if you're not a customer. But when you're requesting cases of rolled coins, they usually want to reserve that for customers. And even if you are a customer, depending on the manager or the teller, well, I guess they don't call them tellers anymore. They're universal bankers now. They totally changed that name, I guess, so that they're more diverse and they can do all kinds of different things at the bank. But anyway, depending on their mood, they might just tell you to go, kick rocks, and they don't care. I've had those experiences as well, where I went in there and I'm like, hey, can I have like $100 in quarters? And they're like, no. And I can literally see change. I could see rolls of change, like on the vault, or they're already doing something with change. There's been those situations where they're just flat out like, no. Now, of course, I guess technically we're still going through a change shortage in America. You don't hear much about it anymore. You don't really see those signs at stores anymore. It was really an early pandemic thing. And that really had more to do with the fact that the change was sitting places and the bank didn't have it because so many businesses were closed down and eventually went out of business. But that's a whole different topic. So, and then I've had other experiences where I went to a bank and the bank, universal banker, is the proper name, they would tell me like, yeah, take all the coins, these are kind of a pain to have, so I'd give you everything. If you have all the money, you can take them all. So I've had varied experiences at different banks. So I brought my little bank bag here to help carry some of these rolls, because if you notice at the banks, they have these trays, but more times than not, they don't want to lend them out to customers because they'll never see them back. I've had nice people that just said, hey, you want to use them to carry your car, bring them right back. Yeah, sure. But they, most times, like even today, I asked in one particular case if I can use the trays and bring them right back. And they're like, oh, no, we can't give out the trays. And I said, well, I just mean to the parking lot. And they're like, sorry, they can't leave the building. Totally respect that. That's fine. That's their own rules. So I bring this bank bag sometimes so that I can actually carry it, because shoving all these in my pockets pulls my pants down. It's a lot of weight. So anyway, I was focusing on $50, but I got a bunch of quarters. These are varied rolls of quarters from, again, 4 different banks. And if you notice, there's this wrapper here, which is hand rolled, okay? There's these wrappers here, which are hand rolled. There's 3 of those. There's 2 of these, which are hand rolled. But then all of these, all the white ones, are sealed, okay? So these are not hand rolled by customers. These are sealed up elsewhere, okay? So professionally sealed, basically. So when you're looking for, silver and stuff, generally speaking, if you have a choice, like let's say they brought all these out and they're like, well, how much do you want? Or you happen to get the opportunity to see, generally speaking, you want to see these hand-rolled ones. This could be some 75-year-old woman who just rolled up her husband's change because he passed away, and it could be all silver. It could be no silver. There's no guarantee. But I just find that when you have these, professionally sealed up rolls from the major banks and distribution, your chances go like way down to find anything, at least silver. You can still find all kinds of different things. You can find errors and double dyes and that kind of stuff. But if you're just looking for silver, that's kind of your best bet. So if they bring out, 2 and 2, and you only want 2 of them, get these, get the hand-rolled ones. All right, always just makes me feel a little better, I guess, and more of a chance of finding something cool because customers did this. Major banks did this, okay? So anyway, so let's break out the $50. All right, I am excited because I know there's some silver, because when the woman handed them to me, she handed it to me in a stack. And when she put it in my hand just like that, you could see those rims. So there's definitely silver in here. There's definitely clad mixed in as well. But that was extra exciting. So again, 2 different banks for the $50. But it's nice before I even look through anything else at all. Let's break all this out here. It's nice that I know I got a little bit of silver. That's kind of cool. Makes me, whenever you find things, it always makes you feel good like you didn't waste your time. Oh, and the last bank, I ended up getting 4 rolls of dollar coins. Okay, these are all dollar coins, which are the presidential coins, mixed with Sacagaweas, mixed with Susan B. Anthony's. There are a couple Susan B. Anthony's that are worth money, like the wide rim. And you could Google that, wide rim Susan B. or Susan B. Anthony, whatever. They're worth a couple bucks. I actually found a couple of those. Those are not as hard to find, and they're worth a little money. They're just kind of fun to pull out. Presidential dollars, I don't know offhand of any that are worth any kind of money. However, the Sacagaweas, there is a Cheerios Sacagawea. If you've never heard about that, Google it. Okay, it was a promotional Sacagawea. It has a different design. Let me pull it up on my phone so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. But if you find one of those, you could sell that for anywhere between, like, I don't know, $22,000, $23,000 to $30,000. That's no joke. So hang on a second, let's see. All right, so here it is. So the Cheerios one, it's a 2000p, okay? And you can see here's the tail on the actual coin. You see the eagle. Here's the tail design on a regular one. And the Cheerios one is differentiated between this pattern. So this pattern was only on the ones that was used in the Cheerios promotional thing. All right, so you know, you can Google that and read up on it, but come on, 30 grand? Even if it was 20 grand. And besides that, there's also like a Sacagawea with, you know, like the eagle has like an arrow, they call it the arrow, through the heart or whatever, through the body, and it looks like it was speared or something. That's, again, just an error, and that's worth a couple bucks too. So it's worth looking through those type of things. So anyway, that's why I got the dollar coins. Here's another $50. More quarters. More quarters. Now, as far as quarters go, I'm looking for silver, but I'm also looking for errors. Oh, there's a loose quarter in here, which is nothing really. I do try to collect all the different kinds. This is Yosemite. And there's another loose quarter in here that fell out. What is this one? This one is Salt River Bay 2020 in rough shape. All right, so yeah, as far as the quarters go, I do look for silver. Obviously, I'm looking for, you know, 1964 or prior, which is 90% silver, and definitely worth plucking out. But I'm also looking for like the V75, you know, West Point quarters. Those are worth some money. It's just, there's a bunch of different errors and stuff and double dies. It's really fun. It's just really fun as a hobby to collect that kind of stuff. But so anyway, I obviously didn't go through any of this stuff. I literally just got home, grabbed the camera to talk about this, but I want to tell you the story of the conversation from the 4th bank. So the first bank I went into, just got some quarters and some half dollars. I think she had $2 and half dollars. Second bank, I got some more quarters and I got the rest of these half dollars, which we'll go through in a second here before I tell the story. The third bank, I got, I think they only had like 3 rolls of quarters they can give me. Totally fine. And the fourth bank, which is kind of like a hole in the wall, very small branch, very, very small company. And I've gotten some silver half dollars from them in the past. They didn't have any half dollars except for 3. What actually happened was I was talking to one of the women there, and I'm like, oh, do you have any half dollars? She's like, oh, my manager can check in the vault. Like, I don't have any in my drawer, but we can check. And then originally they said, no, there's none. Then they said, well, we have $300 worth of halves. I'm like, oh man, awesome, I'll take them all. And then they were going to pull them out, and it turns out it wasn't $300 worth of halves, it was $300 worth of dollar coins, but they were in the half dollar trays. So they were just, I don't know if they even have dollar trays, so someone just put them in the half dollar trays, and then they apologized, and I said, all right, well, I'll still take, you know, $100 in the dollar coins. And then one of the well, I want to say tellers, but one of the universal bankers had said, wait a minute, I think I have 3 in my drawer. And she took the 3 out, and she was going to give me the 3. And then she said, oh, you know what? No, I have to save these for a friend. I'm supposed to buy these myself and bring them to a friend who collects them. And I said, oh, okay, that's interesting. I said, do they collect them? At that point, I knew I couldn't have them anyway. So I said, oh, do they collect them for the silver? And she said, I think so. I don't know if it was someone she knew or was related to, or a friend, a neighbor, or a customer, who knows. Because I've come across that too, where certain banks, customers that are coin hunters, specifically like silver buffs, they have a relationship with the teller, and the teller actually saves stuff for them. They're not supposed to do that. It's first come, first serve. But if the teller says no, what are you gonna do? Put up a big stink? You know, you want to be a Karen? I have no interest in arguing with anyone over stuff like this. This is supposed to be fun, so I don't really care, to be honest. Kudos to anyone out there that has a special, you know, universal banker that puts aside, you know, coins for them to look through personally. But, you know, I grab whatever I can. But this woman, she said, yeah, I saved it for a person. They look for silver and stuff. And then I asked, well, can I see them? And she said, yeah, sure. So she brought the 3 over. There were 3, you know, Kennedy half dollars. One was a 1988. One was in bicentennial, okay, which is 1976. And the third one, I think, was like a 90 something, whatever. And I said, oh, you know, if they collected for silver, unfortunately, none of these are silver. And she said, oh, well, he likes these. He collects these. And it was the bicentennial one. She's like, I think those are silver. And that's when I let her know that in general, they're not. However, if they have an S mint mark for San Francisco Mint, then they are, in fact, silver. And she was very fascinated by it. So she was talking about the guy a little bit. I knew it was a guy, but again, didn't know the relationship with her, you know, personally. But I said, because she like kind of knew that some were silver and some weren't. So I asked for a piece of paper and I wrote down the information because she seemed really interested in it. And I told her, I said, hey, listen, you know, you can give this to the guy if you want, you know, because the guy, she had, you know, kind of alluded to the fact that he thought those bicentennials were silver. So I thought, what a great opportunity to share some knowledge. Even though it hurts me personally, because the more people who know about this stuff, the less of a chance I'm going to find it. But I don't care. It's not that important. I love educating people. I love spreading my hobbies. You know what I'm saying? Every time I do a knife video and show a cool knife, especially if it's limited edition, that makes my chances of getting that knife even smaller. But I love showing it anyway because I want other people to enjoy these hobbies, right? So I thought, oh, what the heck? This guy's getting stuff put aside for him anyway. Might as well throw some education their way. So I let her know, you know, about the 90%, you know, constitutional change that we have, and I let her know about the 40%. And that's what's interesting too about these half dollars is there's coin hunters that pick out the 90% silver, but do not know or care about the 40% halves. I find a ton of 40% halves compared to 90%. In fact, I don't think I found, well, the one time I went to the, like really out in the middle of nowhere, I did find some 90%, but they're mostly 40. But besides that, it might have been a couple of years since I've seen a 90% 64 or earlier Kennedy. You know, usually if I find silver, it's these 40% pieces. I don't know if like people just don't know. Like a lot of people know 1964 or older means silver, but not as many people understand or know that 1965, 1966, 1967, 1968, 1969, and 1970 Kennedy half dollars are 40% silver. So that's kind of a cool score, and we're going to look at those right now. So let's see how many of these are silver. And it'd be cool if there was a 90% in here. I have no idea, because obviously I didn't check it yet. All right, so let's look at the rims. I see a lot of silver rims in there, which is very nice. Let me zoom in. All right, so the first thing, obviously, you can look at is the side to get kind of an idea. So I'm going to pluck out, like this one here is clad. This one here is clad. At least I believe. We're going to check in a second. This one's clad. All right, these two actually are clad. This and this. All right, this one down here is clad. And the other ones, I believe, are all silver, or they're clad and they're dirty, because that happens too. Sometimes they look like they could be silver, but they're not. All right, so 1973 is not silver. 1991, not silver. But by the way, I like these too because I'm trying to collect one of each year. Just as a byproduct of coin hunting, why not? You know what I'm saying? Just makes it more fun. When you don't find silver, you can still find some other stuff. 1974, not silver. 74, not silver. So here's a bicentennial, but there's no mint mark underneath Kennedy there, so that means it is not silver. All right, and 1974. So let's check these out. So these should be all silver, which would be a very fun score, especially for one day of hunting. 1965, that is in fact 40% silver. Put that down here. 1967, 40% silver. 1964, look at that, 90% silver. Super cool. And you know what? You wouldn't know because it's not that shiny. You know, this one down here that has a much shinier rim, you think, oh, maybe that's the 90%. No, this one just happens to be filthy. but it is 90% pure silver. All right, very cool. Here's a 65, 40% silver, 67, 40% silver. So on the bottom, 67, 40% silver, 68, 40% silver, 67, 40% silver, 67, and 68, 40% silver. So that is very exciting to see. If I find nothing in all these quarters, I would be a-okay with that score. That is super exciting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 40% silver halves, and 1 90% silver. Let's pop on Coinflation, which I highly recommend if you're into this kind of stuff. You get the Coinflation app. All right, so you can get a quick idea of general value. This is silver melt, by the way. This is not the extra value as collectible coins. But we're gonna go right to, yeah, Kennedy's, okay. So 90% Kennedy's, one of them is worth $8 in silver melt. That's silver spot price, $8 for a 50-cent coin. I spent 50 cents on it today, and I made $7.50 profit. All right, so the 40%, obviously a lot less. What did I say there were? 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so there's 9 of those. That is $29.66 in silver. All right, that's of the current spot price of $22.28. That is fantastic. All right, so 9 of them is what? $4.50. Not bad, $25 profit just by going to the bank and asking for them. All right, so going back to the fourth bank and talking with them, I thought it was really cool. It was a great opportunity to educate these women about the silver that's in our change. You know, maybe they're going to start looking for them for themselves. You know, some people might know that. I've come across that as well, where there's a teller, or excuse me, universal banker, who knows all about the silver. They just don't care. If they find a silver quarter, they don't really care much about it. They don't set it aside, mostly because it's not like it's worth, you know, $1,000 or $20,000. To them, if it's worth $4 or $5, they don't really care because they don't know where to sell it. They have no interest. You know what I mean? So there's definitely people out there who know about the silver change, but they just don't see the value in going out of their way to take it because they don't know where to sell it. And they might look at it as more of a hassle than anything. Like, okay, fine. So I have this quarter. I swap my regular quarter with for 25 cents, and now I'm going to get $4 for it. But where? Where do I go? What, you know, with gas prices the way they are, if you took one quarter, a silver quarter, and you tried to physically drive somewhere to sell it, you'd probably lose money. You know, so it's one of those things where there's people who know and don't care, but most people just don't know. And, you know, obviously, when I go to these banks, I'm pretty honest with people. And saying, because sometimes they'll ask, you know, I'll ask for $300 worth of quarters or $50, and like, oh, okay, well, what do you want those for? And I always tell them, I'm like, I like coin hunting. There's all different reasons. I said some of our coins have silver in it. Some of them have mistakes, which are kind of fun to find. I collect, you know, different types of coins. I try to get all the different years. It's just fun. It's just something to do that I happen to get a lot of joy out of. You know, it's a collecting thing. It's a fun thing. But with the silver, you know, trading one coin for another coin or one piece of paper for a couple coins and having more value is fun. It's making money. Now, obviously, if you do it once and you find 3 coins that happen to be silver, you're not going to be able to quit your job. Even if you coin hunt every single day, you're not going to be able to quit your job. It's just a fun hobby. That's all it is. But there's a lot more people every year that still do this stuff. This definitely gives me hope, especially these 40% halves. I think if you're going to find silver in American currency today, this is your best bet. A 40% Kennedy is probably the most likely silver you're going to find. Finding a silver quarter is extremely rare now. Finding war nickels that are 35% silver, still pretty rare, you know, and it's not worth as much of your time. People like to look for the 90% because they feel like it's worth their time. You know, it might take me an hour to look through here. It might take me 2 hours. So let's say I do profit, like today I profited $26. Well, $26 an hour sounds great. That's not consistent at all. There's been plenty of times where I coin hunted and I came up with nothing, just nothing. So I wasted an hour or 2 hours of my time. But I don't really see it as a waste because I find it fun. It's a hobby. It's not a money-making scheme. You know what I'm saying? It's not something you're gonna do for a side gig to pay your bills. It's just a hobby, that's all. But it's a fun hobby. It's amazing how much excitement I get or we're finding something that's not worth that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am super excited to find these 40% halves and this 90% half. Okay, and you know, collectively it's less than 40 bucks or whatever. You know what I mean? So $40 is not all that much to most people, but it's exciting. If I find a quarter, if I sit for an hour and I look through quarter after quarter after quarter, when you finally find one that's worth like 20 bucks or something, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. And the value of that quarter does not relate to the excitement. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably just as excited to find a V75 quarter than I am if I won $1,000 on a scratch-off ticket or something. You know what I'm saying? It's just exciting because you're putting in this time and you want a payout. You want a reward for your effort. But anyway, that is all. Some of you guys can relate. Some of you guys think this is totally lame and would never spend time looking through their change, and that's okay. You don't have to like everything I like. But I like this. So if you like this as well, let me know your scores recently down in the comment section. Like I said, very happy with these halves, so it doesn't really matter what's in here. I doubt I'll find the Cheerios, Sacagawea. Maybe if I find anything of value in here that's worth more than face value, I will put it at the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys had an awesome day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.